It's a remarkable thing. They have all the fame and the money, and yet the accomplishment of being the best at what you do brings incredible joy.
That's what it's all about right here. That's what it's all about.
What a spectacular move! Oh, he throws it down!
It looks so much better in person.
I want my damn respect, too.
With 4 titles in the last 8 years, the run is not done.
Oh, we keep doing this, bro. Oh, we keep doing this.
Hey, welcome to NBA Today. I'm Malika Andrews, and we're just 5 weeks away from opening night, and the pursuit of ring number 5 will be underway for 2 of the league's all-time greats, Steph Curry and, of course, LeBron James. And we really got to savor watching these guys while they are still doing it, my friends. But I got a piece of trivia for you. Do you happen to know how many players have won 5 rings? Do you? 26. 26 players have enough jewelry to deck out an entire hand. And look at this, even fewer have that and multiple MVPs. We're talking about Russell, we're talking about Kareem, Magic Johnson, of course, Michael Jordan, and Tim Duncan. That's it. That's the list. And the thing is, odds makers, they don't exactly see a 5th ring in the cards here for either of these future Hall of Famers, at least not this year. The Lakers and the Warriors, they have the 9th and 11th best odds to win the title, respectively. All right, so with that as a backdrop, look who's here. We got a couple of NBA champs in the house. Kendrick Perkins, he's beaming in from home. Richard Jefferson with us in studio. Chiney, Ogwumike, Tim Bontemps here with me to help put up with these 2 brave their antics.
Yes.
Richard, you played, should we say it, a major role in one of LeBron James's 4 championships.
A key role. Should we say
a key role? And now we're going to stop showering Richard with compliments. What needs to happen for LeBron to win a 5th?
Well, again, this is a fun topic because we're in. Are we still in September?
We are. Yes.
We're in September. This is September topic time. So let me just say this. Realistically, we put way too much pressure on LeBron, the Lakers, and all this stuff because they are the Lakers. But to ask that question, in 2001, I came into the NBA, and so did Michael Jordan. So to ask Michael Jordan what they would need with the Wizards to win another championship, this is similar. Yes, Michael Jordan didn't have Anthony Davis, but ultimately you look at an incomplete team, an incomplete roster from the standpoint is they don't have enough dogs, and Perk is probably going to get in this. But I will say this. You look at the defending champions, the Boston Celtics. The Lakers are 3 all-star players away, caliber players away from being on their level. 3 all-star caliber players. That's how far the Lakers are away from being on the same tier as the defending champions. And the defending champions.
So are you saying the Celtics have 5?
All-star caliber players.
Yeah.
2 of
and the
them won
Lakers
the
only
Olympics.
have 2. I'm just breaking it down to make sense. Yeah.
You talk about Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Porzingis, all-star caliber.
White.
Then you talk about White, all-star caliber. All-star caliber.
Right.
2 of those guys were on the Olympic team. So what does it need to happen? Something miraculous that we don't know about. Jesus Christ could come down and play shooting guard for them.
Gods of Spalding and Wilson coming down.
I don't know what could happen, but I wish them the best. We'll be watching the whole story.
No, RJ, you're so wrong, bro. Like they're not that far off. They're not that far off. Like they don't need to be calling on Jesus Christ, right? Like think about this for a second. Answer this question. How many teams in the Western Conference, if the Lakers were to match up with them in a 7-game series, would you pick the other side?
How many teams would you pick, Richard, to match up the Lakers in the Western Conference?
Well, this is the thing. I would say that we're talking about winning a title. We're not talking about going to the conference finals. They are good enough to upset a team, to get a good matchup.
Right, but how many? So if you said how many teams are you picking the Lakers in a series?
In a series, yeah. I think there's probably 3 teams that I wouldn't pick them over.
Okay.
I wouldn't pick Lakers over about 3 teams. It would be the Denver Nuggets. I would probably say OKC and then probably Minnesota Timberwolves. Those would be the 3 teams that I would say that the Lakers going in, because ultimately we know your next tier of guys are the ones that really win you championships. The next tier of players. Your stars have to be dominant, but you're going to look at every series and say, this guy helped them win this game. This guy helped them win the game. And you got to do that for 4 series.
Yeah, but RJ, it's not that far off. I believe that they're one other all-star, superstar caliber player away, right? We saw this offseason, everybody pretty much, especially when you look in the Eastern Conference, they got better with the Knicks picking up Mikal Bridges, right? Philly getting Paul George. The people who are really trying to make noise, they went out and quote-unquote got a third star. And so when I think about the Lakers, and I said this last year, Richard, you felt the exact same way. If the Lakers had DeJounte Murray last year, do you think they would have had a better chance of beating the Denver Nuggets or possibly beat the Denver Nuggets in that series?
Oh, 100%. You would
so.
have had a person to answer Jamal Murray hitting all those game winners. But you can't buy a player that's not for sale.
Who said he wasn't for sale?
Rob Pelinka said it at the trade deadline.
Yeah, but I'm saying because he didn't want to give up Austin Reeves. But we're talking about if you want to maximize LeBron James because he has so much in the tank right now, then you probably should go out there and make a move to get a player of that caliber to come in.
Let me bring a little sanity in here. Perk, you're right, because Richard, you're saying they need 3 players. Perk, you're saying they need 1. I think they need 2. They need star production. They need star production from their role players. Perk, the best thing that you have ever said on this network is that you need to have role players that are stars in their roles. That's what you embody. That's what got you here. That's what made you great. That's what makes championship teams great. When I crunch the numbers, you look at D'Lo, he's only averaged 14 points per game the last 3 years in the postseason, shooting around 38%. When I look at Austin Reeves, he's had pretty decent numbers, 17 points per game. But the thing is, we haven't seen the consistency when it mattered most. You need those guys to be stars in their roles when it matters most. Those are the 2, because their issues are shooting, their issues are scoring, their issues are playmaking. They look at Reeves as a playmaker off the ball, one-on-one, in the dribbling, getting to the rim.
Reeves wouldn't start for the Celtics.
That's fine. That's fine. It doesn't matter. But look, we're gone from the day. Like, the Celtics are loaded, and they're going to have to pay the cost of that. Literally, how long can they keep this core? The way that the NBA is moving is you need 3 really core guys. You can hopefully pay for 2, but it's a luxury to have 3. Look at what Philly is doing. Look at the Minnesota Timberwolves. You need 3. If you don't have 3, then you need to at least have guys that sort of spread the wealth amongst that. That is their role players, and their role players have not been consistent enough, nor have they matched the skill set necessary shooting from 3 to be able to give them consistency over the course of 82 games and then some.
We're ultimately talking about a team that had their 2 star players play a combined 147 games last year and was in the play-in tournament. This is not a team that's good enough to win a championship. You just said they have issues with scoring, shooting, and playmaking. And you were correct, by the way. You were completely correct. We are talking about this because of the Los Angeles Lakers, because they have LeBron James on the team. They are not anywhere near good enough to win a championship, and there's not a path to them getting there.
Wait, the only thing I push back on is, would our narrative right now be different if they drew anyone other than the Nuggets?
Yes.
Will we be believing in them?
No.
I know that they needed to bolster their team, tweak, and that's on them for not making any wholesale changes.
Right.
I know they have some picks where they can have some flexibility, but I feel like if they made it to the second round, if they did not draw the Nuggets and had some success, we might be feeling a little bit better on the Lakers than we were now.
When you win a championship, you beat everybody. So we can't just say the team, and look, the Nuggets didn't go to the conference finals last year.
They lost in the second round.
So it's like, and the Lakers
lost key players.
And they lost key players. I mean, again, the Lakers are a fine team.
Very good.
We're talking about, can they win a championship?
Sure.
There's no qualitative reason to think that other than
I agree.
Why are you looking at me like that?
And Richard started this segment by putting out the question. It's like asking, what did Michael Jordan need with the Wizards? Well, one thing that LeBron James has is the way that he is playing about to turn 40 years old is unprecedented, and it makes us believe and think in the way that he talks, in the way that he wills the most out of his body, makes us believe that he could do literally anything.
I'm not betting against him. I would never bet against him. But basketball knowledge tells us that this team is 3 players away from being 3 players away.
The truth is, it's really disappointing that the Lakers have a team with 2 all-NBA caliber players in LeBron and AD, and they're nowhere near winning a title. That is a failure in the way they built the team, and it's a failure on the way they've run the team the last several years. Well, you look at how those guys played this summer with Team USA, they're good enough to be factors on a team that's competing for a championship. The reason they're not is not because of LeBron. It's not because of Anthony Davis. It's because of, as Janae said, the lack of talent around them, the fact they have issues with scoring, shooting, playmaking, every other part of their team.
Right, and I didn't mean to interrupt you, but also when you look at the health of Anthony Davis and LeBron James last season, when they were largely healthy and playing at an unbelievable level, to think that they can then improve on that again.
It's more likely they missed the play-in then they make the top 6.
Okay, I ain't say all that now.
It is. That's the truth. Just, again, because of health, to your point.
Well, that's your opinion. This is the fact. You did release a story this morning on ESPN.com talking about the NBA's plans for expansion. And anytime we're talking about LeBron James, we know that one eye at this point is also on maybe ownership in the future and expansion here. Do you see it as realistic that he owns a team? And do you see that maybe as more realistic than winning a 5th ring?
It's definitely more realistic that LeBron James is an owner of a team than he wins another title. Because, again, we've seen Bronny James is now playing with him, his son, in L.A. He's clearly boxed into being with the Lakers now going forward. It's hard to see a path to them being good enough to win the title.
Does a 5th ring count if he does it as an owner? Because I'm going to say yes.
Yes.
I'm going to say
That's
yes.
a win-win.
MJ didn't do it.
GOAT debate. I can already hear the LeBron folks.
You get rings either way.
Saying that,
you know what I'm saying?
If you want to say
that
both.
didn't happen for Charlotte.
It didn't happen for Charlotte for sure. So he's got a chance to outpace Michael as an owner. But yes, I think there's a chance.
Oh my gosh.
I think there's a chance that LeBron is the owner of the team in Las Vegas. There are a lot of hurdles to that happening. That team is going to cost potentially $6 billion.
Wow.
That's a lot of money.
Maybe get the Tom Brady deal.
But Tom Brady is also not running the Raiders, right? LeBron wants to run the team. So there's a lot of things that have to happen. But certainly, we're going to see over the next 2 or 3 years this expansion talk really ramp up.
Right.
LeBron's going to be right in the middle of it.
Well.